Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Yivarikeka Adonai v'yishmereka. Ya'er Adonai panav eleka. V'chuneka es Adonai panav eleka. V'ezem leka shalom. V'ezem leka shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Be'ezem leka shalom. Yivarikeka Adonai v'yishmereka. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha. V'chuneka es Adonai panav elecha. V'ezem lecha shalom. V'ezem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'ezem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. V'ezem lecha shalom. V'ezem lecha shalom.
Thank you so much, Isla. Is that on? Is it on? Okay. Thank you so much, Isla, for the beautiful, peaceful music, a wonderful way to gather today and enter the sanctuary that we all hold so dear to us. And thank you all for being here this morning. My name is Sally Joe. I'm co-minister here at Interfaith Community Sanctuary. Very happy to see everybody today. And I feel happy today. So, hey, let's go with it, okay? I mean, don't ask me why I'm happy, but I think all of you being here is part of it. And knowing that I would see you here and that we would join together after the service for food and fellowship downstairs in the fellowship hall, and we will make it a really good day today. So thank you all for being part of that. I want to begin with calling in our ancestors. And that's also part of the reason I'm happy today, because I've been thinking so much about my parents, both of whom have passed away. And I have a 99-and-a-half-year-old aunt, my father's sister, who's still alive and in Florida, and she just celebrated Passover and the Jewish holiday of Passover. And she's been happy as I've been talking to her this week. So she's my ancestor-to-be and my great, wonderful final living ancestor, or final living adult in my parents' generation of my family. And that's making me think about all the people who have passed on and who have given me so much. And this weekend, as you may know, yesterday, was the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord and the beginning of the Revolutionary War in the United States of America. And being a history buff myself, I was reading a beautiful historical article about that by Heather Cox Richardson, my favorite living historian right now. And I'm always thinking about the importance of history. And that's why I love this tradition of honoring our ancestors. Because our ancestors are our history. And they're our personal history, but they're also our collective history, our cultural history, and lest we forget our history. You know, we're bound to repeat it, whether we remember it or not. And we know that the history isn't past, it's still present in many ways. And remembering it is a sacred act, I believe. So I've been thinking, as I was listening to your music, Isla, I was thinking about all the people who put their little bit of footsteps and their little bit of work. And, you know, there was Paul Revere, who became famous for his ride, but there were a lot of people backing him up. And most of what we hear about are the men. But I remember Abigail Adams, who is John Adams' wife, and she was a suffragette way back then. She was an advocate for women's rights back then, and I read a beautiful biography of hers once. So and John Adams, who later became president, but during the Revolution, or the beginning of the Revolution, at the very beginning of the conflict, John Adams and his brother Sam Adams were kind of a little bit at loggerheads about how extreme they were in their belief of going to war. And yet, John Adams, being a high-class lawyer, he actually represented, you know, there was a big lawsuit about the soldiers who killed some colonists. Well, we never know exactly who killed whom, but colonists got killed. And he was there, he represented the British soldiers in the colonial courts and fought for their right to have their story heard and their side of the story heard. And that's the kind of history we need to remember. That we are a democracy, this is a rule of law. We have fought a revolution to make that happen, and we want to keep it sacred and keep the principles sacred. Not the people. The people come and go and they have their, they have their beliefs, but the principles are so important to all of us. So that's personally what I'm thinking about. Now I'm going to be quiet and let you think about your own ancestors and who inspires you from the past, from your personal lineage, from your cultural lineage, from the world lineage. And let's invite them in and thank them for being here. And when we think of the past, we also think of the stewardship of this land upon which we stand and upon which we built this beautiful church. Was built in 1890, the oldest wood frame church in King County that's been continually used as a house of worship. And we would like to acknowledge and thank the people, the indigenous tribes of the Coast Salish region, the Coast Salish tribes of this region, who stewarded this land for so many years, so many centuries, so many decades, so many millennia, that we don't want to forget that this land is like, it's so beautiful. Every time I travel and I come back to it, I think, wow, why did I go away? This is really the Garden of Eden here. And it is. It's a beautiful land, and it's been stewarded by our Native American brothers and sisters for as long as we can't even remember. They're still here, and they're still stewarding it with us. And they're being active in fighting for the rights of the salmon and the whales and the creatures of the sea, and the importance of the ecosystem that we have here and how important it is to keep that ecosystem alive. So we thank them, we honor them, we pay them a little bit of what they call real rent. And to the Duwamish tribe, that is the tribe that actually lived in the Seattle area with Chief Selt as their chief. And we like to support them as much as possible, and we encourage you to do the same. And we thank you for allowing us to mention how important the history of their presence here is to all of us now. Okay. So Jamal is going to, after he gets finished hugging everybody, we'll give him a minute. He's going to lead us in a chant to honor the divine feminine. And we light this candle. Oops, let's light the candle for the divine feminine. And this is our way of honoring what sometimes gets forgotten to be honored, not because it isn't already in the divine in the divine name, but honoring the feminine side of divinity and the feminine divinity in all of us, the balance, the yin and yang, as the Chinese call it. And Jamal's going to lead us in a very special chant that I requested him to do today.
Thank you so much, Sally Jo. So my friends, the chant is about Hazrati Bibi. Oh, beloved female sage, Hazrati Bibi. And we say, Assalamu alaikum, peace and greetings be upon you. And in the Islamic tradition, when we honor sages, the first person we honor in the divine feminine, the Quran says, you have to honor Maryam, Mary. Mary has an entire chapter in the Quran, and she's called the holiest of the holy. So we'll say to her, peace and greetings be upon you, and then we become still, and she'll reply back to us. And she's saying, peace and greetings be upon you. So we receive that blessing. Okay, too much talking, let's just sing it. Some of you know this. Hazrati Bibi Maryam, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And she replies, Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. The wife of the Prophet Muhammad, Khadija. Hazrati Bibi Khadija. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. In the Islamic tradition, we honor the wife of the Pharaoh who rescued Moses from the water, Asiya. Hazrati Bibi Asiya. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Let's end with one. Say a wonderful female person who has a loved one who has passed away. Give me a name. April. Oh, it fits a month. Yes. Everybody calls synchronicity. Hazrati Bibi April. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. Sorry, what's next on the program? Is it not chanting by Ayla? Oh. Okay, thank you. Okay, my dear friends, I'm supposed to deliver a sermon. But let me start by saying a very, very heartfelt, sincere welcome to you. Please know, and I mean it, on behalf of ICS, the ministers, our congregation, a heartfelt welcome to you, those who are new particularly. So please know your presence is a blessing. So let's start with, I'm a chant junkie. We praise God, and we know that when we praise God, God doesn't become holy, we become holy. Allahu Allah. Please come, there are a lot of seats here. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allah. just the beloved women, please. Again, please, again. Just the beloved men. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. One softly. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. All together aloud. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. One last time. Allahu Allah, Allahu Allah. And becoming very still, as Rumi might say, allowing it to perfume our hearts, the vibration of this sacred chant. Thank you. Okay, my dear friends, so it's time for my sermon now. But let me wish you all a very happy Passover. And by the way, the topic is healing. Healing, empowerment, and transformation. So when I say Passover, metaphorically, it's really about freeing ourselves from the bondage of the ego. You know, being freed from slavery. That's Passover. So this is really about, the sages say, from the spiritual perspective, you know, doing the inner inconvenient work. And what does that involve? Many things. One is transforming the ego, taming the ego from a commanding master into, some of you know that, personal assistant. It takes a lot of work. It's a lifelong work. Lifelong, every day, every week, every month, every year. Transforming the ego. There's more. The inner inconvenient work is also about cleansing the heart, opening the heart. You know, Rumi says, please, Brother Jamal, open the window of your heart. The moon will kiss you only through the window. And it's not easy, Rumi says, because you've got to polish the heart with God's solvents, patience, love, generosity, graciousness. Polish. So it becomes a polished mirror reflecting the face of Allah. Rumi says, Jamal, if you get irritated by every rub, how will the mirror of your heart ever be polished? So as Americans say, keep on trucking, keep at it, polish it. And also opening the heart. So I like this, to me it's summarized by a wonderful sage from South Asia, Mirza Ghalib, who says, this is the essential inner inconvenient work. Jamal, your face was dirty, your face was unclean, but you were obsessed with cleaning and polishing the mirror. You've got to do the inner inconvenient work. Okay, how does it translate into something that is practical? Prophet Muhammad said, simply this, know that every moment, because we have to do this work and we have free will, every moment, meaning every hour, every day, every week, every month, I'm making choices. Right now I'm making a choice. Am I saying this to impress you, which is fine? Or am I doing this because I really want to convey something to you? Am I coming from my ego? Or am I coming from my higher self? At every moment, we have a choice. And Prophet Muhammad said, so at every moment, you are either ennobling your soul or diminishing your soul. Every moment. It's a lifelong struggle. Okay, I'm realizing not a sermon on Passover. Let me move on. This is also Easter. Happy Easter, meaning, and metaphorically it's about rejoicing. We have a new life. There's always hope. I love the verse in the Quran. The earth was parched is metaphorical. The earth was parched, but the waters of mercy came down, and the earth was clothed in green. There's always hope. I remember now a verse from Rumi who says, how does it go? Dear heart, never lose hope. Dear heart, never lose hope. Even if the whole world turns against you, keep your eyes on that friend with a capital F. Meaning be conscious of God. Be conscious of God. Be conscious of God. There's a verse in the Quran that says, if you're conscious of God, among many other verses about this particular verse, being conscious of God, what happens? If you're conscious of God, God provides for you in ways you could never imagine. You know, Rumi would read Quranic verses and go into a trance. He did very little writing, just outbursts by going into trance. So when he read this one, he says, yes. In times of affliction, a stretcher will come from grace to pick you up. In times of affliction, a stretcher will come from grace and pick you up. Okay, back to healing, empowerment, transformation. So what, if you study all the world's religions, what can really heal, empower, transform myself, my being? All the traditions say it's really, maybe before I even say it, let me tell you the story by Hafiz, which some of you know. Hafiz says, Jamal, anybody you meet, you're always saying, please love me, please love me, please love me. But of course you're saying this silently, otherwise somebody would call the cops. So what really heals me, empowers me, transforms me is something we all know, the divine vibration of love. Again, the Islamic mystics say, love is in every religion. Love is in every religion, but love has no religion. So what is the best technique? For me, the best technique is, and I do this for myself, with my friends in my therapy, and I find this has the best result, and we do this in meditation, to focus on the heart and tell the heart, I love you. There's that wonderful verse, which some of you know by heart, where God says, beloved one, I cannot be contained in the space of the earth, I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens, but I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart. So try it. Just we do it in meditation. Just for a few seconds, focus on your heart and tell your heart, I love you. Or you are loved. Whichever feels more comfortable. I love you. You are loved. I say this again and again and again in my waking hours, in my meditation, in my work with therapy, and they tell me this has the best results. Okay. Let's move on. Something specific. Healing the body. I remember some years ago, there was a Christian pastor, a very well-known pastor, I forget his name. I went to his lecture, and he was saying, I've been in the ministry for about 40 to 50 years. I tell the same thing, but nobody listens. And what do I say? I say, please take care of your body. Change your lifestyle. Don't be suffering from so much stress. Balance your life, your diet. Everybody says yes, but they don't follow it until they get a heart attack or a stroke or something happens. And he says, I'm telling you this again and again and again because I really want to impress on you. You've got to find a way to honor the body. I don't know how you want to do it, because most of us will not do it until we are forced to. Just be with that. Is that true for you? I hope not. So for me, I realized, Brother Jamal, how can I honor my body? And I always remember that wonderful saying that your body is a sacred temple that houses your soul. And that made me realize, let me take care of my body. Let me take care of my body. Not just when I become ill or when I have to, but it's a sacred temple. So ask yourself, am I taking care of my sacred temple? Okay, we have to move on. Next one is healing my thoughts. You know, it's a world of opposites. We'll have negative thoughts. And particularly, in difficult times like this, all kinds of thoughts come into one's being. If I quote the Buddha, you are what you think. Everything that you are arises with your thoughts. Let's take that seriously. Take it to heart. You are what you think. Everything that you are, says the Buddha, arises with your thoughts. Speak and act, behave with pure thoughts, and happiness follows you like your shadow follows, or the wheel follows the oxen cart. Speak and act with impure thoughts, and sorrow follows you like your shadow follows you. So at these times, all kinds of thoughts happen, which is why we have the practice of neti. Some of you remember that practice. If I have a negative thought, I'm angry. Anger is fine. It can lead you to righteous action, but if I'm not conscious of it, it can lead to difficult emotions. I'm really upset. I am furious, not just angry. If I don't take care of that, it goes into a gangrenous effect of, I'm thinking of taking revenge. That's called, thoughts, emotions, negative imaginary scenarios. Negative, it leads to anything, frustration, anger. If I don't consciously do a spiritual intervention, it results in negative imaginary scenarios. And I might think, big deal, that's no problem because that's just imaginary. No, the subconscious does not differentiate between real and imagined. It manifests in the real world, which is why the masters say that when you have this negative imaginary scenario, do a spiritual intervention. Neti. Not this, not that, not real. I say, letting go. My favorite verse is, whenever I have those negative imaginary scenarios, letting go. Because it manifests, it becomes real. And we always joke in this modern age, you can say, delete, cancel. Okay, just be with it. At these times, it's particularly important. How do I manage my difficult thoughts before it lapses into negative imaginary scenarios which manifests? Delete, cancel, letting go, neti. Okay, difficult emotions, bound to come up. Again, I repeat, it's a world of opposites. Every religion says, this is a world of opposites. High is defined by low, long by short. There is joys and there's bound to be sorrows. There's yin and yang. In yang there is yin, in yin and yang. You understand what I'm saying? Yin and yang. Yeah. In yang there is yin and yin there is yang. Okay, but it's resolved by that circle. It's bound to happen. So how do you deal with difficult emotions? A sage once told me, look at it this way. When a difficult emotions comes up, to quote Carl Jung, it is begging to be kissed. That which is difficult within me, which is coming up for a very beautiful reason, because it is begging me to acknowledge it, to heal it, and to integrate it, so I become a more complete, developed human being. Like Carl Jung said, you don't become enlightened by embracing the light only. You really become enlightened by embracing the light and your shadow. So you've got to find a technique. When difficult feelings come up, what do you do with that? So in our community, in our classes, we talk about sacred holding, a technique to embrace with compassion for yourself your difficult feelings. So I don't welcome difficult feelings, but I say, if it's coming up, it's begging for me to acknowledge it, to heal it, and to integrate it. If I integrate it, my anger transforms into an inner enthusiasm. My fear into a greater mindfulness. My sadness into greater empathy. So along those lines, there's bound to be suffering in life. That's, if you study Buddhism, that's the first noble truth. Yes, my friends, there is dukkha, there is dissatisfaction. There is suffering. Don't run towards pain and suffering, just don't run away from it. Embrace it. And you've heard me say this again and again. Carl Jung, that famous Western psychologist, who said, would you once in your life have the courage and the grace to kiss the demons and dragons within you? That is how they turn into a prince or princess. So once again, I won't get into the technique, but sacred holding works wonderfully well. And this wonderful saying by the sages when there is suffering, oh God, this is Rumi who said, oh God, when there is suffering, save me from its harm, but please, I beg you, do not deprive me of its good. So ask yourself, how do I deal with my suffering? Of course, community can really help, but learn some technique of kissing the demons and dragons within you to transform it into a prince or princess. So ask yourself, how do I deal with my suffering? Okay, how else can I heal myself? And I'll be brief about those. Service. You know, if you look at the world traditions, what am I here for on planet Earth? One is to become more Christ-like, Buddha-like, Elohim-like, Allah-like, Krishna-like, to become a better human being, a more evolved human being. In Islam, it's called Insan-e Kamil, to become a more perfected human being. That's one half of my purpose on planet Earth, all the traditions say. And the other half is to be of service to God's creation. To be a lamp, lifeboat, or ladder to others. And to know that this gives us joy. I love that saying by the Prophet Muhammad. Do good deeds according to your capacity. Do good deeds according to your capacity. God never tires of giving rewards unless you tire of doing good deeds. The good deeds most loved by God are the ones that are done regularly, no matter how small they are. The good deeds most loved by God are the ones that are done regularly, no matter how small they are. So I ask you, what are some good deeds you could be doing regularly, no matter how small they are? Smiling at someone and meaning it. Greeting someone. Helping someone. Sending light and love as a regular practice. Service also means being engaged in the world in difficult times. These are difficult times. I won't get into the politics of it, but I'll just quote Prophet Muhammad, who says, when you experience in your environment tyranny, injustice, the Prophet said, use your hands, meaning do something, get engaged. If you cannot do that, use your mouth, meaning speak out. Say something, Brother Jamal. And if you cannot do that, Then yes, pray from your heart. But the Prophet Muhammad added, in this case, it is the weakest form of faith. Okay, just be with that. In these difficult times, what am I doing for systemic change? The Quran says, to quote literally and metaphorically, your work to free a slave from bondage. Make structural changes in society. It's my responsibility. Start in your own family. You don't have to travel to Gaza, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, Sudan. Start in your own family. Any injustice in your own family, any domination in your own family, any dispute in your own family, face it, encounter it. Deal with it with love, with compassion, with justice. Okay. Another work we have to do for healing is really honor nature. The Prophet Muhammad said, the earth is like your mother. Honor her. Protect her. So how do we heal ourselves by healing Mother Earth? If I can do nothing, I sometimes in the past have joined programs of planting trees. At least the sages say, when you meet nature, which you meet everywhere, tell nature, please forgive me. Please forgive me, and mean it. Please forgive me. It'll have an impact. Please forgive me. And then honor nature by learning from nature, because, Sufis say, Islamic mystics say, the holiest of manuscripts is actually Mother Nature. Anything you want to learn about life or mystery, you find in nature. So, example after example after example about graciousness, generosity. The fruit tree offers its fruits to everyone, rich or poor, Republican, Democrat. But it never consumes its own fruit because it's gracious, generous, offers shade to everybody. The one which really impacted me was when I was young, a simple one. Plant a mango seed and a mango tree grows. Well, we were given that to really like a koan to meditate on. So I thought, what's the big deal? Man, plant a mango seed, a mango tree grows. So no, Jamal, you don't understand, So go back. It's like a koan. There's much more to that. Then the teacher said, now focus on this. The soil is true to its trust. The seed is true to its trust. Plant a mango seed, a mango tree grows. It is so sincere. Jamal, are you sincere in your life? Somehow that, as Rumi says, splashed in my heart. Be sincere. Be sincere. Plant a mango seed grows. And then keep on pondering on it. Can you imagine, said the teacher, if you plant a seed of goodness, what it blossoms into? If you plant a seed of badness, evil, it also has a phenomenal effect. Can I be mindful? About connecting with God, as you've heard me say many times, I've loved that Christian writer who said, oh, sister almond tree, tell me about God. And the almond tree blossomed. Oh, sister almond tree, tell me about God. And the almond tree blossomed. Or the Zen saying, sitting quietly, doing nothing. Sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows. Sitting quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes and the grass grows. Can you give me an example of what you have learned from nature? Anybody? It's a wonderful spiritual exercise to ask yourself, what can I learn from nature? Yes.
Well, every fall I feel sad when the leaves begin to fall off the trees. And I start to feel sad and I think, wait a minute. That's not sad. The tree's not crying. The tree is dropping its leaves. This is the time. And the tree knows that in the spring, the new growth will come and the new leaves will come. The tree has a lot more faith than I do because I have trouble imagining that spring is really going to come. But I think of that every fall because when I start to be sad, I think, don't be sad. The tree's not sad.
Wonderful. Change is inevitable. Thank you. Anybody else?
Trees are very peaceful. You never see trees arguing with each other, fighting, or very peaceful.
Yes, wonderful. So the roots, they're communicating, yes.
To add to the tree metaphors, that trees with deep roots will bend when the wind blows.
It's flexible.
Yes.
That's my favorite insight. Blessed are the flexible, for they will never be bent out of shape. I love that. Another one about trees that mystics talk about, when they talk about different religions, different cultures, different politics, different viewpoints, the branches of the tree, they sway differently in the wind. The branches of the tree, they sway differently in the wind, but they're all connected at the roots. It's all one. All these religions, it's really all one. As Rumi says, the differences are just illusion and vanity. What is praised is one, so the praise is also one. So many jugs being poured into a huge basin. All these religions, all this singing, it's really just one song. The differences are just illusion and vanity. That's Sufi mystic. In fact, I don't want to keep saying it, that's Rumi actually. Okay, just one or two quick points. How else can I heal myself? It's critical. I need community. Community. I tell the story so many times because I remember when I was once giving a lecture here, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating it again and again, but it's so much in my heart and mind. When I used to notice, just after the lecture, my sermon was over, somebody wanted to talk to me, but seemed like she was shy, and she just quickly slipped away. Then one day, she did come and talk to me, and she said, in a very hesitating voice, "Can you please help me? I'm alone." And before I could say something, somebody greeted me, and then I noticed she slipped away again. But then after a month or 2 or 3 months, I forget, I read in the papers, I remembered her name. No, it was 6 months or 5 months later, I read in the papers that they discovered this same lady dead in her room with her body not being discovered for at least 1 or 2 months. I forget the exact details. So I realized what she was really asking for was community. She was so alone. And so from that time, this was a number of years ago, I realized I really want to make it one of my ministry missions to help friends, to help people create community, build community. That's why I love that wonderful verse, "A wall standing alone is useless. Add to it other walls, it can support a roof, even a granary. Only when ink joins with a pen can the blank paper say something." But I've realized something else also, because in my ministry, people have come again and again. I'm lonely. I don't have friends. I try to help them, and sometimes, a lot of the time, it works. In fact, Susan, you helped somebody in the islands connect with somebody, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, I think it was you, Susan. Anyhow, putting people together, that really works. But you know what really works most of all, is critical, is to build a community within yourself. That's why I have a relationship with myself. I talk to myself, and you know this very well. In the classes, I always say, and this is a mystical insight, Jamal, give yourself a name that when you say it, It evokes compassion, love within you. So I call myself Brother Jamal. So I and Brother Jamal have constant conversations. And in times of, for example, if I'm angry or somebody says something mean, immediately the voice within me comes, Brother Jamal, please restrain yourself, restrain yourself. We'll take care of this later on. For now, please restrain yourself. And it works. It really works. And the voice comes up because I talk to myself, to Brother Jamal. So that relationship with oneself is a very critical relationship. That's a wonderful community. The other one is, the sages say, can you create an inner circle of love? You see, this is an outer circle of love. I have family, I have friends, and I have a beautiful family, I have some wonderful friends. That makes life very beautiful. But you can also create an inner circle of love in your meditation, in your imaginal realm, in your sacred sanctuary. Who is it you'd like to invite there? It has to follow 3 gateways. These are members. This is the imaginal realm. Only limitation is my belief system. These are members between whom me and that member, could be 1, could be 2, could be 17. There is love. It's the first gateway. Second gateway is there is trust. Because without trust, there's no vulnerability. Without vulnerability, there's no real community. And the third one is truth, love of truth. Like the Buddha said, find friends who love the truth. And this is a critical one. Find friends, could be family members or friends in your community, who love the truth, whatever that means to you. Who is there in your life? Now I'm talking about imaginal realm. You can invite people who are living, who are deceased, but there's the gateway of love, of trust, of living the truth. Could be angels, historical beings, could be animals living or deceased. So go in your sanctuary and just be with them and bask in the love they have for you. I do this in therapy, by the way, no matter what the dysfunction is. Heroin addiction, smoking cessation, sexual abuse. To go, I ask them to choose the inner circle of love, those 3 gateways, love, trust, truth, and just be there and just allow yourself to feel the love they have for you. And that can be incredibly, astonishingly healing and empowering. Because, and this is something which our late Karen Lindquist would repeat all the time, and I've heard it so many times from her, what is life all about? It's about loving. It's about being loved. It's about not being loved. And it's about yearning to be loved. The rest is all posturing. It's about loving. It's about being loved, not being loved, and really wanting to be loved. Wanting to be loved. Please love me, as Hafiz says. Okay, I'm looking at the time. I've sermonized long enough, but I just want to end with one more thing. As I always say, but it keeps going on. I'll bring it to a close for sure. What are some personal spiritual practices that you're doing that really heal you, empower you, transform you? Ask yourself, what are some spiritual practices I can weave into my everyday life? Of course, there's silence. Every tradition says, there's no such thing as a Jewish silence, Christian silence, Buddhist silence. It's just silence. And some of you remember those wonderful quotes by Rumi again? What is silence? Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of the little self. Silence is the language of God. Everything else is a poor translation. In silence, the branches of your intelligence grows new leaves. In silence, the branches of your intelligence grows new leaves. So Brother Jamal, and I ask you, are you practicing silence? It's critical. Some of us went through the class, the Book of Joy. Dalai Lama, he practices silence 6 hours a day. 6 hours. Desmond Tutu, the late Desmond Tutu, 3 hours minimal, every day. How long are you practicing silence? I asked myself, Brother Jamal, Do you practice silence? Authentic silence? So that's a critical one. Doesn't matter what's your culture, what's your religion, what's your belief system. You know, I should tell you what really impacted me was a verse from Hafiz who says, there are two secrets, he says. The first secret is, see God in everything and everyone. See God in everything and everyone. That's the first secret. And the second secret is, keep it a secret. See God in everything and everyone. Brother Jamal, can you practice that? It could change your life. Of course, we know about gratitude. I love the verse in the Quran, everything which exists in the heavens and the earth is extolling the limitless glory of God. So when I practice gratitude, I am joining a cosmic chorus. And of course, the main point about gratitude is, if I'm expressing gratitude even in times of difficulty, adversities, I am giving thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. This is very strong in the Native American tradition, by the way. And I see some new faces here. Let me quickly say this story, which I think some of you heard at least 12 times. The mullah has lost his donkey. Remember that one? The entire village tries to find the donkey. They cannot find the donkey. The donkey is lost forever. They come to give mullah the bad news that the donkey is lost forever. And where's the mullah? He's in the town square on his knees saying, Allah, thank you, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful. Mullah, you haven't heard the bad news. Your donkey is lost forever. He says, yes, but I'm so grateful because imagine what could have happened to me if I was on the donkey. So if I'm giving thanks to God, even in times of difficulties, I'm giving thanks for unknown blessings already on their way. And Kate has reminded me I should better end this. The last thing is I've learned since I was a child, the best spiritual practice is to laugh. Just laugh. Laugh and laugh and laugh. So remember those two verses by Hafiz again who says, what is this love and laughter bubbling up from within me? He said, listen to my answer. Is a sound of a soul waking up. And he goes on to say, God wants to see more laughter, more playfulness in your eyes, because that is your greatest witness to God. So, one of the fastest growing spiritual movement in this country, well, actually all over the world, is laughter yoga. You familiar with that, some of you, I hope? Yeah. Okay, if you're familiar with that, the basic one is put your hands out like this, look at up there, and just go. Okay, my friends, thank you so much. What's next on the list, Ali Jo? Oh, okay, short meditation. I've been taking long. Short meditation. Close your eyes and levitate right now. Yeah. You can laugh. Okay, close your eyes. I'll keep it very simple. This is the one I do regularly. I focus on my lowest part of the spine, the sacrum area, the first chakra, and I intend to send a beautiful cord of light deep into Mother Earth, connecting me to the womb of Mother Earth, feeling a sense of rootedness, belonging. Connectedness. Okay, let go of that. Focus now on the crown of the head, the crown chakra, and intend to send any color, a beautiful cord of divine light going upwards, way up, higher, higher, piercing those mysterious realms and connecting us to the heart of heaven. Feel that, please. Feeling poised between heaven and earth. And now, letting go of that, focus on the heart now. And that wonderful saying where God says, Spirit says, Divinity says, Beloved one, I cannot be contained in the space of the earth. I cannot be contained in the space of the heavens, but I can be contained in the space of the pure, loving heart. Divine heart is inside human heart. It is such a mystery. The source of eternal love, healing, empowerment is in the heart. Spirit is outside of us. God is outside of us and also inside of us, in our heart. So for a few moments, tell your heart, I love you. Or you are loved. Say it unabashedly, with feeling. I love you. You are loved. Anything else you want to say? Thank you. I am so grateful. Or please help me. I need help. One can never overdo this. I love you. Please help me. Thank you. I am so grateful. I surrender to you. Okay, let go of that now. Just be with your heart. But this is a daily practice. But the other thing to do is, in my meditation, in my waking hours, I focus on my heart. And besides telling my heart I love you, because this is the wellspring of eternal love, make an intention to pour out light and love to radiate from the heart in an outward, expansive direction. If you're walking or driving or meeting someone, make it a habit before you meet that person or as you're meeting that person, friend or foe, from the heart, send out light and love. Pour out light and love. To human beings, to trees, to stones, to animals, to the thin air, which is filled with angelic activity. Pour out light and love. Make it a habit in meditation and in your waking hours, as often as you can remember, focusing on the heart. Divine heart is inside human heart, and intending to pour out light and love in an outward, expansive direction. Okay, let's do this chant. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallahu. One more time. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallahu. La ilaha illallahu. And please remain in your seats. I think Ayla is going to sing some. Yeah.
the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. I have made thee pole star of my life. I have made thee pole star of my life. Though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, though my sea is dark and my stars are gone, still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy. Still I see the path through thy mercy.
Beautiful. Let's thank her by going like this. Yes, or clap your hands. For Ayla, who does regular, she's been a long-time member, a solid member of our community, and you do programs quite regularly here. When's your next program here?
Coming up Friday night.
This coming
This
Friday?
coming Friday, 7 p.m. It'll be a little bit different from the past chanting events. It'll start with some gentle healing movements and then some chanting, which you're welcome to join me on, or you're welcome to just sit and listen, or if you want to lay on the floor with a mat and a blanket and a pillow, then I'll do some sound healing at the very end of the
Thank you,
evening.
Sid.
So about 7 to 9 every fourth Friday. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
You want to start sharing our wealth and I'll pass.
Okay. Okay, my dear friends, she's asked me to say a few things about something you have to do or you don't have to do. Any donations you give us, we pray sincerely, is returned to you manyfold. It doesn't have to be money. It can be your good intentions, your prayers, your willingness to volunteer for something. But any sharing to those who are present here and those who are on cyberspace, I think there's a URL. Am I right, Sally Jo?
Yeah, go to our website. There should be a link in the chat to donate. There's a donate button there on the website.
Okay. Let's do one or two ohms. Deep breath. One more time. I'm going to ask Sally Jo, who is a co-minister, to bless this money, and I mean it. We pray that this is returned to you manyfold, and gratitude for your giving.
There's a beautiful verse that you actually quoted this morning that I'll repeat for us all because it's very apropos. For the one who remains conscious of God, God always prepares a way of emergence in ways that he or she could never imagine. So let's keep that in mind, and also remember that all of the treasure that we collect here goes back into the community for the upkeep of this beautiful historic building, for all the bills we pay to keep the lights on and the heat on, and winter's over. We get to have the windows open and the screens letting in the fresh air, and we appreciate all the volunteer work that also goes into helping keep this building such a beautiful place of worship for us all. Thank you so much for your donations. And I do want to mention we have some wonderful gatherings coming up, and we would like to emphasize especially a couple of wonderful, we've been doing a lot of music today. We have a wonderful music concert coming up from some some musicians who very rarely haven't come here for years. This is their first visit back in many years, and this is an evening of kirtan. I have to look at it though because it has a date. Sorry, it's an evening of kirtan music by Mahalakshmi on the vocals and keyboard. This is a woman who sings beautifully, and Imam on the tabla and percussion, and they're doing a beautiful concert on Friday, May 16th. Coming up in just a few weeks at 7 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. These folks do not make money on this concert. They said they will ask for a suggested donation, which will be returned to the sanctuary, and but nobody will be turned away for lack of funds. But you're going to want to come to this concert. It is incredibly beautiful. I hadn't heard them in so long, I couldn't remember, and I went to the YouTube, and oh my goodness, I just heard a little of one of their songs, and I was like in ecstasy for like 10 minutes. And Isla, you're familiar with their music too. Do you remember the last time they were here?
Maybe 2-3 years ago.
Was it that? Okay, it was definitely before COVID, though. No? Okay.
Just a couple years ago.
Okay, well, I guess I'm forgetting that. I mean, time doesn't have any meaning to me anymore. Anyway, do come May 16th, 7 p.m., and it'll go till about 9:30, and you will enjoy, and you will be happy you came. And Jamal also started a new spiritual development class. If you feel you'd like more of his wisdom and more of his teachings, and you didn't get enough today, the class did start yesterday on Zoom, but we recorded it, so you can also still join it. And it meets for 6 weeks, starting yesterday and going through May 24th, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon on Zoom. And the reason we do that is because we have people really all over the country, and a couple people outside the world. We have one congregant from Uganda who joins us, and we'd love to see you if you would like to join that class, and just talk to myself or Jamal after the service so we could get you signed up for that. And also, we have weekly gatherings every day of the week here in the sanctuary or in some area here. We have classes. Meditation group meets on Thursday evening at 7 o'clock here, just a sitting in silence, if you want to get that practice going. You meet with George up here, and he leads a beautiful group of just quiet, silent meditation. We have classes where we study the books of poetry by Rumi. We have classes where we study the teachings of other traditions and find out how they relate to times today. And all of the details you can see on our website, and you can sign up to get the Monday morning edition of all our upcoming gatherings, and only you can sign up for that. I can't sign you up, but you can sign you up, and you can do that on our website. And it's a good way to keep, if you want to try out something new, or we have a Course in Miracles. We have many different offerings, and all of them speak to somebody. You'll find interesting people in all of these gatherings. Some people can't come to church on Sunday mornings. Their kids are playing soccer or frisbee, and they're doing this and that, and so they miss out on this Sunday afternoon community. But there are communities formed almost just literally every day of the week. There's a Native American medicine circle that meets sometimes on Zoom. Some weeks it's on Zoom, second and fourth, third and fifth. I don't know. You have to look at the schedule because I don't have it memorized. But it is regular. And those are places where you can get together with people and form your community around your interests. We do encourage you to do that. It's a very, very important part of our ministry here. Oh, right. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So we've been recently cleaning and doing our spring cleaning here, led by Joey, who's been a very wonderful guide to cleaning. And she's helped us dig out some things from the cupboards and the closets, much of which, we really don't need anymore, and we're looking for ways to give them back to anybody who might need them, or take them over to Goodwill in the coming weeks. But we want to let people have the first dibs on anything they see on the back tables down in the fellowship hall. So if there's something you want, you don't have to pay for it. Just take it off our hands and make our trip a little lighter, and we would welcome if you can use it. If not, that's okay too. We'll make sure somebody gets it who can use it, and we'll donate it to proper sources. Also, join us for food and drink. We have a potluck lunch going on downstairs. We'd love to do that with you and get to know each other better and visit and have a nice celebration.
And that's actually, we always say, the real service. The real service starts downstairs. Fellowship over food and beverages. Okay, my dear friends, so those who are on internet, we say sayonara, goodbye. Thank you so much for being with us.